All right, let's get practicing in QuickBooks Online. Grab the link below so that you can follow along. All right, here we are in the QBO gym, and the QBO gym is really just a set of exercises that help simulate real life scenarios that you may encounter as a bookkeeper. And every single month, we have it broken down into 4 different categories, and within each category is a set of exercises for you to practice and complete. So, we are going to be working in the June strength training exercise today or section today. At the top is our video about Craig, what's going on in his world this month. He is our fictitious business owner, of course. And then we have a quiz here that relates to the video, and then all of the exercises in this section. So today we are going to be working on practicing our inventory, sales, and returns. And I'm going to pause here for 1 second because you need to make sure that you do the 2 previous exercises before you do this one. And that is the importing services, products and services, and then practice purchasing inventory. So once you do those 2, then you can come back to this one. And it's just because each of the exercises are building on each other. So make sure that you complete those before you move on to this one. So our scenario is that Craig's new retail items are a hit. Every customer loves something he's offering, and many are very eager to buy. Mark Cho purchased a dozen keychains and a lawnmower plushie with cash as soon as Craig showed them off. Unfortunately, Mark called Craig the next day to return the plushie. Turns out that his nephew really wanted a stuffed Zamboni. Craig was happy to return Mark's money in exchange for the lawnmower, which went back into his inventory. One of the keychains did fall apart, so Craig refunded the money. Mark paid for that and didn't worry about getting the faulty product back. So again, you need to be in the same sample company session as the previous 2 exercises because they all continue to build on each other. Okay, so let's work on the inventory, the selling inventory part first. We need to enter a sales receipt to record Mark's purchases from Craig and then reduce the available inventory in QBO. So step 1 is we need to click on the plus new button and then select sales receipt. Here I am on the same page as I ended in the last video. That's why it looks like this. So we're going to do the plus new, go to customers and the sales receipt. And then we're going to fill it out. So we need to select Mark Cho and then the payment field being cash because that's how he paid. So we're going to start with Mark. And then our payment method down here is cash. The deposit to field, we're going to leave it as is for undeposited funds. And that's because undeposited funds is a holding location to collect cash and checks before they get deposited into the bank. But for Craig, he continues to sell at farmers markets, and so he wants to keep some of the cash on hand so that he can make change. This is tracked slightly different, but we're not going to cover that at this time. So under the product service, on the first line, we're going to select compressed grass clipping keychain, and the quantity is 12 since Mark bought 12 of them. I'm going to see grass. There it is. The quantity is 12. I'm going to enter that or tab that over. And then for the second line, we're going to put the lawn mower plushie. There it is. There was only one of those, so we just leave it as is. You'll note that the sales price is part of the products and services list that we uploaded before. So the rate or the cost of these items and the total cost for each line are automatically populated. Note that also they were also set up as non-taxable during the import. We will not be worrying about sales tax at this time, but it is definitely something that Craig needs to start thinking about soon. So remember that because these are inventory products and because we put quantities on each line, that QBO will track how many Craig has sold and will know that he has fewer items available for sale in the future. Okay, so now that we have filled that out, we are going to click on the arrow next to the Save and Send button. We're just going to select Save and Close. So here is the green button here. We're just going to click Save and Close. And that sales receipt has been saved. So now let's work on the refund part. The stuffed lawnmower that Mark purchased is still in perfect condition. Mark's nephew just didn't want it, and so Craig can sell it to someone else. The keychain definitely isn't, though, and so we're just going to give him his money back. Step 1, we're going to work on the lawnmower plushie first. And for this, we need to use a refund receipt to put the item back into inventory. So plus new button and then refund receipt, which is under here, under customers, the refund receipt. Go ahead and click that. And this will pop up, and then we're going to need to complete it. So the customer, of course, is Mark Cho, and we're going to leave the date as a default, which is just today, and the cash pay or the payment method is cash. So here we go. Customer, we're going to start typing in Mark. And then for the payment method, we are going to select cash. In the refund from field, we are going to select undeposited funds. Again, in a real life scenario, you would likely be returning the cash from a cash on hand account, but we're not going to cover that right now. So let me do that. The refund from the undeposited funds, I'm actually just going to start typing undeposited funds. There we go. And then for our products and services line, we're going to select the lawnmower plushie. Keep in mind that QBO will assume a quantity of 1 and draw from the default sale price listed in the product and service list to populate the rest of this line. Entering that product and quantity is very important when dealing with returns of tracked inventory. And then this form records both that Craig gave Mark some cash back and that there's another unit of the lawnmower plushie available for sale. Just recording a payment from Craig to Mark would skip the very important inventory tracking step. So yeah, just keep that in mind that you need to do that in order to have the accurate amount in your inventory. So the lawnmower plushie, we're going to go ahead and do that. Oops. Lawnmower plushie, there it is. There's the quantity. Again, it's the default because that's what he had paid for before. And then we're going to click on the arrow next to the Save and New button and click Save and Closed. So this little green button here, click Save and Close. You can go ahead and click OK. That's fine here. All right, and now let's deal with the keychain. While the plushie is in perfectly good condition and can be resold, the keychain is broken and cannot. So in the previous step, we wanted to return Mark's money and add the item back to inventory. However, we are just going to return Mark's money without adding the keychain back into inventory. So to do that, you have to create an expense transaction. So to do that, we are going to do the plus new button and then select expense. Plus new, under vendors, click expense. And then we're going to fill it out. So the payee, of course, is Mark Cho. And the payment amount is going to be, we're going to select undeposited funds. Again, this would normally be a cash on hand account, but given that he is, the way Craig is handling the cash right now, it is just going to be undeposited funds. And then the payment method is cash. So Mark is what we're going to look for first. The payment account is, we said undeposited funds here. Start undeposited funds. Great. And then the payment method, as we mentioned before, was cash. Okay, make sure to leave the reference number field empty since there's no formal document associated with this transaction. And that's one right here. I'm just going to delete that. Under the category, we're going to select retail sales income. And under the description, we're just going to explain why this transaction is happening, which is the broken keychain. And in the amount field, we're going to enter $4.99. This will record that Mark has refunded Craig has refunded Mark and reduced his total income without further affecting his inventory account. Keep in mind that you will technically use the item details grid for the lawnmower return from the previous section. This would reduce the inventory, but it would not truly reflect the scenario of what happened in the way a return receipt does. Whew, that was really hard for me to say. Okay, so we're going to fill out in the category detail here. He is returning we're going to select retail sales income. Retail sales income. And remember, it is the broken keychain. And the amount was $4.99, which you can see has now been updated there by QBO when I hit the tab button. And now we are just going to save and close, which is this green button down here. Click on that. And there you go. You have practiced now sales and returns. If you have any questions about the QBO Gym, just click on the link below in the description and be sure to leave this session of the sample company open as you will need it for the next exercise in the strength training section, which is all about reductions in inventory. And I will see you in the next video.